The World Health Organization's report about bacon causing cancer could have a climate agenda behind it. Julie Kelly co-authored an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. Here's just a small section of that. It says, with the United Nations climate talks beginning in a few weeks in Paris, the cancer warning, well, seems particularly well-timed. Cooking instructor and food writer Julie Kelly joins us now. So you believe there's a much bigger agenda behind this, Julie. It's like a double whammy. It's like the production of meat is causing climate change. It's sending up, carbon that leads to greenhouse gases. And oh, by the way, if you eat these meats, you're going to get cancer.
Right. Well, that's what it looks like. The World Health Organization released a report earlier this year specifically targeting red and processed meat as a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, and also listed as a high priority trying to change the dietary habits of people in developing countries, developed countries, to reduce their consumption of red and processed meat and more towards a plant-based diet because it's bad for the climate.
Well, how solid is the science behind this, in your opinion?
The more you look into it, the weaker it looks. The Cancer Agency is under the purview of the World Health Organization, which is under the purview of the United Nations. And then when you look at really the science behind it, it was really a review of about 800 scientific studies. As far as the red meat, the IARC concluded that about half of the studies showed that high consumption of red meat could contribute to cancer. The processed meat was a little bit even flimsier. And in the press release, the head of the committee said that even consuming processed meat, you just have a small risk of colorectal cancer. But that would require you to eat about 50 milligrams per day of processed meat over, say, 30 years. Then your risk would go from 2% to about 2.4%. Red meat was, I believe, 100 milligrams per day. So you would have to eat a lot of meat every day, and maybe it would increase your risk by about 18%.
And the U.S. being targeted, as you say, just ahead of the big conference in Paris next month, where I'm sure President Obama is going to offer all sorts of taxpayer money to put programs in place. What's your concern about something like this?
Well, the concern is, the agriculture sector and livestock production in particular has been a long-time target of environmental activists. The U.S. is the #1 producer of beef. We're the #3 producer of pork, and we have among the highest per capita consumption of meat in the world. So if you target this sector, you target our country, and of course we're wealthy as well, then that fits right into the prevailing climate change narrative that we need to move away from meat, not just because it's bad for the planet, but now because it's bad for you and you're going to get cancer. Yeah. What's next? I don't want to know, I don't think. Julie Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right, coming